Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Nancy, who's going to present how we're going to do some guacamoles and some cosmos. And for those of you that don't have all the ingredients, don't worry about it. I'm going to record this so that you can play it back at a later time, and you can pause it, etc. And we're going to have some fun. And by the way, I have not muted you. So if you want, because we have a small crew. So if you would like to talk or ask a question, please do so. And let's go on with the show.
Okay, hi folks, hi. Look, it's not even 4 o'clock, but it's 4 o'clock somewhere, and most days I will either have a martini, but I started to really like Cosmos and had them in a whole bunch of places and came home and started tweaking. And to me, this is the simplest, easiest, foolproof way to make a good Cosmo. What you need is just a handful of ingredients. Buy vodka, and don't buy expensive vodka because it's a mixed drink. Triple sec. I know this sounds like a lot to have in the house, but if you have it in the house, you never have to go out for it. Triple sec. Rose's lime. This is not regular lime juice. This is a liquor store sweetened lime juice. It's not anything like you would use instead of lime. So this is a definite. And I use cranberry juice. The beauty of this is, regardless of how much you're making, literally, after tweaking, I do double vodka, whatever amount you want. It could be a small batch, a big batch, doesn't really matter. But 2 vodka and 1 of each of these. So it's really made, even if you can't see, you can make this drink. Now, what I have done often, if people are going to show up, I put this in one of these metal shakers and leave it in the fridge. So it's kind of all prepared. And when it's ready to go, it'll be cold, but when it's ready to go, I just add some crushed ice and shake. If you are going to, if you have leftovers of this, you can actually just leave it in the refrigerator and have it tomorrow or the next day. So don't be afraid to make it. I would just put in possibly a little less ice so it doesn't get too watery. But these martini shakers are honestly the best because they're metal and they get very, very cold. And you could feel it in your hand as you're shaking. It's a cold thing rather than the glass shakers don't do the same job. So I do recommend these. Okay, we'll make Barry into the test bunny.
Hold on, Sandy.
Wait a second, he has to drive home.
No, we have to test this to make sure that it's okay.
I didn't make a pile of this stuff. Just taste it and we'll see. Like we could always make more.
He's got to take his mask off.
First of all, you notice how beautiful the glassware is.
Gorgeous.
Notice that I'm
Home goods, very.
home goods.
I don't buy anything else.
Move out of the way, love.
Taste.
All right.
Just taste.
Move out of the way, love.
This is so smooth. I swear, there is no liquor in this.
Okay,
No,
keep
there
in
is
mind
liquor.
that there is.
It's a girl drink. It's not like a grab you by the throat.
Oh, this is delicious.
Okay, move out of the way so she can do her thing.
No, I like it just the way it is because it goes down very smooth.
Absolutely.
Okay, Barry, move.
Oh, what do you mean move?
We want to see
2
Nancy.
vodka, 1 Rose's lime, 1 cranberry juice, 1 triple sec. So you can make it in huge amounts or little amounts. And it's the kind of drink, I've never had anybody here that said, I don't care for this. Some people would rather have straight scotch or whatever else, but nobody's ever said, oh, it's too sweet or it's too tangy or it's too anything. So it goes over really well.
What's really nice is that it's not a strong liquor taste, and it's very nicely done.
It's a nice summer drink. You could actually drink it, and it'll sneak up on you eventually because there is booze in it, but it's not like over crazy. Okay, so today with
It sounds
this,
very cool when you order it. You sound very in.
That's right.
Cosmo.
well, it is very in. It became the new trendy drink a few years ago.
What are the varieties of a Cosmo?
They do. I've seen a lot of different stuff, but I gotta say, I'm happy with this. And I've seen Cosmos made with other ingredients.
Mhm.
And I for a while I was in the experimental mode.
Yep.
And then when I settled on it, I said, I don't experiment anymore. And this is fine. I buy the stuff because most people don't have all of this stuff around the house, but you could keep Rose's lime in the fridge. This stays like any liquor. The triple sec you could use for a lot of drink. Triple sec is actually good with vodka, orange juice, and triple sec is a nice thing. But once you have the stuff in the house, you could kind of ad lib. You won't kill anybody, and it's actually quite nice. So that's a 4 o'clock. And generally in this house anyway, we have guacamole, I would say 5 out of 7 nights. My husband has to have it. Yeah,
I use triple sec in fruit
I
salad.
have to tell you, you put that together very quickly.
there's nothing.
I mean, I've noticed that there are a bunch of varieties of vodka.
Cheap, don't buy. Rule of thumb, something like Svedka, which is $17, $18 for a big bottle. If you're making a mixed drink, Svedka is a great vodka. To me, it's silly to spend $30, $40 on a bottle of vodka if you're going to do a mixed drink. If you're drinking it straight up with olives, knock yourself out. But to spend the kind of money for a mixed drink, no. And honestly, Svedka is a really inexpensive, pretty smooth vodka. I had a family member who was a Grey Goose guy, and he used to spend $50 a bottle. And one time I did a taste test with him, and I had Kettle One and Deep Eddies and Svedka and the Grey Goose, and he tested all of this. And Grey Goose is very, very, very mild, to me almost too mild. But when he tasted it all, he gravitated to the Svedka. He says, I like this one. And I said, well, great, because this one is $18 a bottle, and what you drink consistently is $50. But for mixed drinks, I never use expensive vodka or expensive any liquor because you're mixing it all up anyway. So save yourself some money. I don't care. The brand of triple sec doesn't matter. The cranberry juice really doesn't matter. But this thing is mandated. This Rose's lime, and this will stay for God knows. You keep it in the fridge. I don't know what else to do with this. I've never played with it.
It works in vodka gimlets.
Concentrate.
A vodka gimlet?
Vodka gimlets.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
And you can
Scotch,
buy it in
I'm happy with.
Publix.
I don't do gin at all. So Scotch I don't do. So this is my wheelhouse.
You know, Rose's lime juice you can buy in Publix.
What we're looking at now with guacamole.
What, was that Hetty?
Yeah, you can buy Rose's lime juice in Publix.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I buy my
there.
Now, Hetty, you mentioned to me, you emailed me and you said you didn't want to ruin the vodka.
I happen to like straight vodka on rocks.
Oh, I drink straight vodka all the time.
But I have to tell you, Hetty, you have to try this. It was delicious, Hetty.
No, I
I don't happen to like sweet drinks, but I happen to like straight vodka. What could I tell you? But I also like Belvedere.
Just to be
which is
clear,
an expensive vodka.
am happy to have straight vodka, throw in an olive, and shake it with some ice. That's my favorite. But this is a really nice summer kind of drink.
Yeah.
It's a little different vibe, and for a change, it's kind of good. Okay, are we ready for this?
Are we ready for this, guys?
We're ready.
Okay.
Okay. With guacamole, as we talked about when I did the rugelach, I'm not the queen of recipes, so I will kind of show you stuff, and you can ad lib a little bit around this because it's not difficult, but I don't measure like a lot of people do. So sometimes it's not a good thing. Okay, starting off, let's just start off with what's in it. You can use regular garlic. I do use regular garlic. I don't have regular garlic. So as a
What's
backup,
regular garlic?
I have garlic in the house. I will just take a wad of the ready garlic that's out. It's very, very, very handy. It's garlic that's in oil. It sits in your refrigerator. And if you're ever making a scampi, a pasta, whatever, this stuff is terrific.
So here, I'm just gonna show that. It's apparently,
They have little bottles too.
California garlic.
Yeah, they have it in Trader, they have it everywhere. I buy a lot of it because we eat a lot of garlic. If you ever do, as an example, a steak, you can take this garlic, which is sitting in oil, and when you rub it on the steak, you have oil and garlic, which is really good for it seeping in, and it's good for cooking because when you sear the steak, the oil helps. A little bit of oil on when you're cooking meat really does help. So this stuff is great to have in the house. So you put a scoop of garlic. I use these baby, can you see this? Like these baby spoons, but I do have real, real spoons like this. You just could ad lib. I mean, I would think that this wad is maybe, what do you think, a half a teaspoon?
About a
Yeah.
teaspoon.
You can put in a couple of cloves of garlic or 1 clove of garlic, depending if you like garlic. I mean, it really your choice. I'm going to do this with 2 avocados. You could do it with 1. You're just going to cut back everything else. But just take your avocado, scoop it out. Maybe a bit.
I have a dumb question.
Yes.
I never get avocado. It's either too hard or too soft.
Get them hard, let them get a little soft, and then put them in the fridge. But you want to buy them hard so that they'll ripen. Avocados, if they're tricky. You've got to buy them at the right time because they rot really fast. So I would try to get them when they're green and hard. Don't put them in the refrigerator, let them sit out, and when you could just squeeze them a little bit, they're ready to rock and roll. That's all you have to do. And I buy these more in Aldi's than anywhere because they're a fraction of the cost of Publix. And avocados are just cheap in Aldi's.
Somebody mentioned that you can actually make them soft by putting it in a microwave.
I did that. Yeah, if you get crazy, you can do that, but it's still better to just let them ripen. They have a little bit of a different flavoring when they're ripe. It's like having a cantaloupe that you could eat when it's not ready, but it's always better if you allow it to do what it's supposed to do.
Mhm.
What I do now is you really should use fresh lime. I don't have any, so you can use lime juice. It doesn't matter how much. Generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, if someone says, put a lemon, squeeze a lemon, that's approximately 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. So if you keep that in your head, that if it's a lemon or a half lemon, it'll give you an idea if you don't have a real lemon, and lemons are going to give you a different amount of juice anyway. But with this, I would say I put in, you see how it looks. I would say at least 2, maybe even 3 things of lime, which would be about a whole lemon. A whole lime, I'm sorry, a whole lime. Now limes, those little key limes don't produce often as much, so you have to kind of judge. We like it limey. After you make this, you'll be able to sense taste. I'm going to show you
Move the
when
lime
you
juice to the
do
side.
this.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Move the lime juice to the side.
Move the lime juice.
Okay, now what you got to put in here, here's your options. I would always put in scallions, or you could use a red onion. I don't use regular onions, but I would use either a red onion and scallion and just slice them up. It's really personal preference. You could throw just about anything in here, which I'll show you, because we started off one time really very simple, and as the years went on and as the refrigerator had leftovers, I just threw it in. I thought, this is good, this works. So for this size, for 2 avocados, I'm using, let's say, 2 large scallions, and just chop them up and put them in. So you've got garlic, you have the lime juice, and you have, what else?
Scallions.
Lime juice and scallions. Now,
Was there a question just now?
Here's,
I have a question, Barry.
Go ahead.
Did you not use the green parts of the scallions?
Do not use the green part of the scallions.
no, I really don't. You can, I mean, it's not gonna kill anybody. I just find that the other part gives you the kick you want. I don't find the green parts do that. But if I'm low in scallions and I'm making it spread, I would use it. I mean, I really would. I've even made this with regular onion if I didn't have red onion. So there's no rules with this any more than there was with putting things into arugula. I mean, you could ad lib with this comfortably. One thing I will tell you with this is, as far as your seasoning, just as I say this, just like all Italian food, pretty much is the same thing. You know, you got your pasta, your tomato sauce, your cheeses, and you can make 100,000 Italian dishes in the same way. If you're making anything Southwestern or Mexican, this is the deal. Constant, it's the same ingredients. They use chili powder, cumin, and salt. And I use, for my guacamole, I use cayenne pepper. Guacamole needs to have a kick. Occasionally, jalapeno peppers are used. I personally don't like them. That doesn't make them wrong. It makes them fine. But this stuff I always have in the house. Cayenne pepper, you just have to remember, is wicked. Just a little bit goes a long way. So you have to be kind of careful and sense how much hot you want. You could always add. So be prudent. When I'm doing this, I would say, I would say like a half a teaspoon of salt, roughly. Again, you could go back and add later, so there's no real rules. And remember, this stuff is going to go on chips that have a lot of salt in it anyway, so I'm not big on loads of salt. And then in lesser amounts, again, no real rules, but I'm thinking, this is about a quarter of a teaspoon. I will put chili powder.
If somebody has a TV on in the background, can they please turn it off?
Accusing Governor Gavin Newsom of exploiting the coronavirus pandemic to release thousands of convicted felons. They stated on Monday County Road, alleged Newsom was.
Okay, I have a little under, what is this? That's a quarter of a teaspoon. Maybe enough. A good quarter of a teaspoon of chili powder. I use the same amount of cumin.
Whoa. Go ahead. So here's the chili powder, which you guys know already.
I would use the same amount of cumin. So we have salt, cumin, chili powder, and when you get to the cayenne pepper, that's just scant. Just a little bit of it, because honestly, that's enough. It gives you quite a kick. You could always add more. If you taste it, add more. This is basically what you do with this. It's just mush it down, kind of mush it down with a fork. Can they see? Yeah, they can see it here.
Nancy, do you ever use like Tabasco sauce?
Never use Tabasco.
No, you know, you could probably use a lot of stuff, but when I'm doing this kind of thing, cayenne pepper I always have. So I don't have to look for anything and it's there and I could control the heat. One time I didn't have it and I used an Asian hot sauce with it, but I do like this, the way this is. After you put this together, the other thing that you need to have, even if you don't think you like it, is cilantro. I do not love cilantro, but I really, really like it in guacamole, which surprised the heck out of me. But some people do not eat it. I just take, I can't tell you how. You just do it. If you like it, use a lot of it. If you don't like it, don't use a lot of it. It's not recipe driven, but you just want a bunch of leaves. Just cut them up, throw them in. You could use the stems, by the way. This is not the kind of herb that you gotta sit and trim. So just put in some, whatever amount. You'll store it after you make it one time. You'll see kind of how you personally want to tweak this. Now, what else you need in here is a tomato. I generally use the plum tomatoes because they have more consistency. And what I'll do with this is just chop them into pieces. And you just, I'm cutting them up like this because you want to get the larva out of it and all the seeds. So just let it drip, throw it in.
No, that's interesting. When we made some guacamole a couple of months ago, they wanted us to take the seeds out.
Well, they do come out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they do. When you cut it up, all the larva and this stuff comes out, so you don't have to worry about it. Here's some options for you, okay? We do a lot. If I have a red pepper in the house, 90 times out of 100, I will roast it. I just stick it in a hot oven, a whole pepper, just cut the insides out, put it in half on a baking sheet with the open part down, and put it in a 4 1/4, 450 oven until you see the top of it start to get burnt and crunkled. And when you take it out, you could either wrap it in anything. You could wrap it, put it in a bag, you could put it in some kind of paper, aluminum foil, and let it sit. It'll kind of steam. And then when you go to take the skin off, you just hold it under water and the skin will come off. Roasted red peppers are fabulous in salad with tomatoes, roasted red peppers, a little balsamic vinegar with olive oil, some garlic. You could do all kinds of things with them, and they give out the flavor. You don't need them in guacamole. There's no rules with this, but if I have a pepper in the house and I'm looking to get rid of it, it's going to wind up in the guacamole. So it's an option, no rule. It's just an option. So we'll put some in here for the heck of it because I have it. I'm going to just cut up some roasted red pepper. Oh, this is another thing. Another thing. If you have a corn, I use fresh corn that's not cooked. Very often, I'll just take the kernels off and stick it in a salad. It's crunchy. It's sweet. It gives a different kind of consistency. You don't have to do it. It's not traditional. I just happened to have a leftover corn one day, and that's what happened. But all I would do is just cut some of these kernels. And you could put as much in as you want. There's really not a rule with this. Keep mixing. The other thing that I would say you can use, and it's not, again, not a rule, but it works really well, is a little dollop of sour cream. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a wad of it. It just creams it up a little bit. And all of this is just kind of mixed together.
Guys, this smells so good.
This could stay, if it's sealed, anything with an avocado looks like crap if it's in the refrigerator too long. It starts to get brown. You can keep it longer by putting it in the fridge, but put it in a sealed container, even with a little bit of saran wrap on the top. If the air doesn't get to it, it will be okay. But here's all of your ad-libbing is here. You could use corn, you could use peppers, you can use the scallions or the red onion. This is all quite optional. And just as long as you have a little bit of these ingredients, the cumin, the chili, the garlic, that's important. Okay, let's give Barry a test on this.
Hey, Barry, don't expect dinner tonight.
I use tomatoes.
Whatever.
She used tomatoes in there. They look good.
Go ahead, Sandy, you go first.
No.
No, he's
I thought she said peppers.
I want to see if it's safe.
She used peppers and tomatoes.
Yeah.
Take your mask off, though.
Okay, so it doesn't go. I need one of those, the new masks that I've seen on television that have an
With a
opening.
flip up.
Mm.
Did I hear a yummy sound?
Does it need something for you?
No, it has a nice mild kick, just
Well,
mild.
I'm afraid if it's for me personally, I add more cayenne pepper.
All right, he didn't fall down yet, so give me one.
Well, let me see. We will tell you because the cayenne gives it quite a kick, but not everybody can do that. So let's see what this guy would know because he
Good,
has.
Sandy, you're on TV. Would you rate that from 0 to 10? Is that a?
It's definitely a 10.
It's definitely a 10.
Ta-da! That's it. And
Right, it's really good.
why would it be? You have it.
No,
So really don't be afraid of it. It's not the kind of thing that is specific. As long as your seasoning is in there, you could just put tomato and scallions if you have other stuff. I really like the corn and everything else in here, but it's not like a mandate. What gives us the flavor is if you let it sit for a while and the cilantro starts to mix in with everything. It's a really nice dish. This is what I use, by the way, too. The Big Dippers, they try to, if you ever buy this, try to get one that's not been smashed around, and you might find it, they're whole pieces. In all these, they still have them in boxes, so you could grab them before they get ruined. But these scoopers are great because they hold stuff and they don't fall out of your mouth all over the floor. So, and that's it. Cosmos and guacamole.
Thank you.
It's perfect
Thank
4
you.
o'clock or even 1:30, 2 o'clock. It's good. Works out well.
I'm not gonna try to steal your thunder, but just in case anybody was curious, that's what doing one of the mandalas are on cardstock.
Go ahead, say it again, Peggy.
So this is what a mandala looks like if you do it on cardstock.
Oh, hold on a second. You're not on the screen. Do you want to be on the screen?
Yes, she is.
They can see me.
I know. Hold on a second. Wait a second.
She's on our screen.
We
have
her.
Barry, you don't have to switch me.
It's
We
okay.
got her.
Where's my?
Barry,
Yes.
just enjoy your guacamole and Cosmo and come home safely. They can all see it.
So it's much more of a design.
Right, they can see that. So this is if you don't want to do a rock. But I like having a rock. I keep one on my front walkway, on my bench, so that if somebody does leave me something, they can put the rock on top. So.
Well, I want to thank you all, and
Thank you for coming.
Valencia Lifestyle appreciates you all participating. And by the way, this is not limited to just us. So if you have something that you like to do and you would like to share your skill with the rest of us at Valencia Lifestyle, please don't hesitate and send me a message and we'll consider it, because look, we're all sitting in home for the next couple of months. We might as well share our thoughts, our skills, whether it's singing or poetry or book reading, whatever it is.
But I also think we have a bunch of other really amazing cooks amongst the communities.
Right.
And so please, if you guys have recipes to share,
Hold on a second, Peggy.
drop us a note.
Yes, and Nancy was about to say, go ahead, Nancy.
If there's something else that, you're iffy about or you'd like to make, whether it be soups or, I don't know, whatever, just ask, because if I can make it, I'll be happy to share. And if I can't make it, there's a bunch of gals in this neighborhood who really cook well. So it wouldn't be difficult to find somebody
True.
to make stuff for you. So, you know, as I say, cooking is just an interest. There's not a lot of talent to making any of this. It's just a little bit of time and getting the ingredients in the house. But there's nothing that wild and crazy that anyone should be intimidated by doing stuff like this. And it's really nice when people come over. Guacamole and a Cosmo or a drink of choice is a nice touch.
Well, I want to thank Nancy and Sandy for letting us share their house, and we look forward to the next event. We will publicize it as we start to talk about September, October, November. We're finally past the summertime, and
We may have to learn to make turkeys online.
that's right. I want to wish everybody to be safe, and I thank you all for joining us today. And Valencia Lifestyle, rah, rah, rah.